Hey skincare nerds, welcome back. So today we're going to talk about the cleansers from CeraVe. Whether you have dry skin, oily skin, combo skin, sensitive skin, we're going to look beyond all the marketing to answer which one is actually going to be the best one for your skin. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about and discussing the foaming facial cleanser, the salicylic acid cleanser, the OG, the hydrating cleanser, as well as the new hydrating cream to foam cleanser. So to figure out what cleanser is best for you, we have to first talk about skin type, because that's probably going to be the easiest way to help you choose a cleanser that's actually going to work for your skin. So you've probably already seen skin types being split up into categories like dry skin, oily skin, combo skin, normal skin, and sensitive skin. But let's just quickly run through how you can tell the difference in case you're not sure or you need a really quick refresher. Also, your skin type isn't necessarily set in stone. There are lots of different factors that might change it, like your skin type can change from season to season. It can also change as you get older, and even throughout the month as your hormones change. And some factors in your environment can change it too, like how humid it is where you live. But figuring out what skin type you have right now is still a really helpful starting point to help you choose the best cleanser. If your skin feels greasy and shiny all over, and not in like a cute dewy kind of way, and you also have pores that tend to be a little bit more visible, then you probably have oily skin. But if you're on the other end of the spectrum and your skin doesn't have enough oil and it actually feels really tight or even flaky, and you also tend to have smaller pores as well, then your skin is probably more dry. Dry skin is very different from dehydrated skin. Dry skin is a skin type that lacks oil, while dehydrated skin is skin that lacks water or moisture. Dehydrated skin is technically a skin condition and not a skin type, and you can have oily and dehydrated skin or combo and dehydrated skin, so they're not the same thing. So the next type is pretty self-explanatory. Combination skin is basically just a combination of oily skin and dry skin. So if you have combination skin, you will get a little bit of shininess, usually around the T-zone area, but you also might feel a bit drier, especially around the cheek area and especially during winter time. So my skin is definitely combination because I tend to get a little bit shinier around my T-zone and my pores there are much more visible. Okay, so the next type, and I hate the name, is normal skin. And you know you have normal skin when your skin isn't too dry or too oily and it's just perfectly balanced. I hate calling it normal skin because it implies that if you don't have perfectly balanced skin, that it's somehow abnormal, and that's not necessarily the case. So I'm just gonna call it balanced skin here in this video. And the last skin type is sensitive skin. And this one should be really obvious as well. So if you have sensitive skin, your skin will tend to be a lot more reactive to different products that you're using. So you might feel a bit of stinging, itching, or kind of burning sensations. Okay, so now that we've gone through all of the 5 different skin types and hopefully you have a better sense for what skin type you have, let's finally talk about the CeraVe cleansers. Let's start with the gel cleansers, starting with the foaming facial cleanser. This is great for balanced to oilier skin, so it's also great for combo skin as well. This has a gel texture and it lathers and foams up when it mixes with water. And even though it is made for oilier skin types, what I really like about it is that it still doesn't strip your skin too much because it's got that ceramide complex in it as well as that hyaluronic acid. This is important because if you do have oilier skin, you want to make sure that you don't overdo it and over cleanse and strip out all of that oil from your skin, because that can actually lead your skin to produce even more oil to overcompensate. So in terms of the formula, not only does it have the ceramide complex and the hyaluronic acid like I mentioned before, but it also has niacinamide in it, and that's an ingredient I know a lot of you love. And in terms of the overall formula, it's really great for helping you take off makeup, and I think it could work for sensitive skin as well because it's still pretty gentle overall. Okay, so now on to the CeraVe Salicylic Acid Cleanser. So because this has a gel-based formulation, like the foaming cleanser, it's also generally better if you have balanced to oilier skin or combo skin. So this obviously includes some salicylic acid in it, and that makes it great if you have comedonal acne like whiteheads or blackheads, or if you have skin texture concerns like keratosis pilaris. Salicylic acid overall is great for helping improve skin texture because it exfoliates off the top layer of dead skin cells so they don't get clogged up in your pores and cause comedones to form. But what it does do is reveal that newer, healthier skin from underneath. And because this is in a cleanser format, this is a pretty gentle way of introducing salicylic acid into your routine. So in terms of the overall formulation, this is a gel-based formula that's actually quite similar to the foaming facial cleanser. So it does have that kind of foam and lather when you mix it with water and when you wash it off. And it also has the niacinamide added into it as well. But unlike the foaming facial cleanser, this of course has that added salicylic acid in it, hence the name. I know that some of you might be concerned that the salicylic acid in cleansers don't stay on your skin long enough for it to penetrate, but there have been some recent studies to show that salicylic acid can be effective in cleansers, and I'll link those below. But if you would rather use a simple cleanser that you can then layer other products like the Paula's Choice BHA leave-on exfoliant on top of, and you're considering either the foaming or the salicylic acid, then the foaming one would probably be better for you. But if you want one product to do both, then this one would be the one to go for. Aside from the salicylic acid, there's really not that much difference between the two products. Okay, so now on to the hydrating series. So we've got two types. We've got the OG, which is the hydrating cleanser, and we've also got the new recently launched hydrating cream to foam cleanser. I'm really happy I got my hands on this. Let's first focus on the OG, the hydrating cleanser. So this is definitely best if you have a drier to balanced kind of skin type, but I would also recommend this to you if you have sensitive skin because I think it's probably the most gentle out of all of the formulas. So something you should know about this cleanser is the texture of it is really, really creamy, and when you mix it with water, it doesn't really lather up or foam up at all, and that makes this less dripping if you do have dry skin, but it can also maybe be less satisfying if you really like the traditional kind of soapy type of lather. Something I wanted to clear up is that more lather doesn't mean that you are getting a better clean. This doesn't have a lather to it, but it will definitely clean your face. I also find because it has that creamy texture that it makes it really good for taking makeup off as well, because it just kind of like melts that makeup off. And for me, I have no trouble taking off even waterproof eyeliner. So it is really good if you want to cleanse everything off in one step instead of having to double cleanse. Now moving on to the newly launched hydrating cream to foam cleanser. I've been using this for a month now and I was really excited about it because I think it's a really interesting product. Not only because it's a cream to foam hybrid, but also if you actually look at the formula, it's pretty good. So let's first talk about the texture. It starts off really creamy like the hydrating cleanser, but then when it mixes with water, it actually lathers up and foams up, kind of like the foaming cleanser. It's really hard to describe, so I'll try and show you. But I feel like it's kind of the best of both worlds when it comes to the texture because you start off with the creaminess, which helps to take off all the makeup, but it also finishes with like a really nice, satisfying lather and texture to it. I mean, it just doesn't get more satisfying than that. Now, another thing I'm really excited about is the ingredient list. They've added a ton of amino acids in here. And another thing that they actually don't advertise on the bottle at all or in any of their marketing material is that they actually have included salicylic acid in here. So based on all of that, this should really be called the salicylic acid hydrating foaming cleanser because it's got the salicylic acid, but it's also hydrating and it has foaming properties as well. So it's kind of like the best of all of these products lumped into one. And I think looking at the overall formula, this would be really great if you have combo skin, balanced skin, or dry skin. But if you have really oily skin, I would still recommend that you go with one of the gel-based cleansers. So one downside with the overall formulation is it does have a longer ingredient list because it's got those amino acids and the cream to foam base plus the salicylic acid added in. So if you have extremely sensitive skin, I would still point you to the hydrating cleanser because more ingredients means that if you do get a reaction, it'll be much harder to pinpoint specifically what is causing it. That being said, CeraVe tends to formulate really gentle products overall, so I wouldn't worry unless you have extremely sensitive skin. So some of you guys have recently reached out to me on Instagram asking if you can use the hydrating cleanser with a vitamin C serum like the Dear Claire's vitamin C serum because you're afraid of the mix of niacinamide with vitamin C. But don't worry, you definitely can because the CeraVe Hydrating Series does not have niacinamide in it. I know it's really confusing because the gel formulas do, while these two also pack so many fuzzy ingredients in there that sometimes it's hard to keep track. But they do not have niacinamide, so you're totally good to go with your vitamin C serum. So for my skin, because I do have combo skin and I also have bangs, that means I sometimes get closed comedones on my forehead and kind of around my hairline where my bangs hit. So I used to use salicylic acid cleanser a lot when I felt oily. And I used to live in a drier climate, so I used to love the hydrating cleanser when I was feeling a little bit more dry, especially in the winter. And so I used to have both of these on hand, depending on how my skin was feeling, if it was drier or if it was oilier. But now that the hydrating cream to foam cleanser has launched, I really find that I always only ever really need to reach for this because other than the niacinamide, it's got the salicylic acid, it's got the ceramide complex like all of the other cleansers, it's got the lather, which I like because it's so satisfying, but it also has added salicylic acid in it. So I really like that because it really is like an all-in-one product, combining all three of the other cleansers within this one cleanser. Okay, since we went through a lot, I just wanted to quickly recap all of that for you guys. So all of the CeraVe cleansers have their ceramide complex and hyaluronic acid, as well as their unique slow release delivery system. And in terms of the two cleansers with gel-based formulations, they are very similar, but they do have some slight differences. So the foaming cleanser is really great if you have oily skin, and it has niacinamide in it, and it's really great for removing makeup. While the salicylic acid cleanser has both niacinamide and salicylic acid, and it tends to be great for oilier skin as well, especially if you have some comedones like whiteheads or blackheads, or skin texture concerns like keratosis pilaris. So again, very similar gel-based formulation. They both have niacinamide, but this one also includes salicylic acid. So that's the main difference between the two. And as for the hydrating series, they're both really great at removing makeup, but in terms of the hydrating cleanser, it's really great if you have really dry or very sensitive skin, or you don't like lather in your cleansers. And the hydrating cream to foam cleanser is really like a hybrid because it starts off like the hydrating cleanser, but it has a lather like the foaming cleanser, but it's also got salicylic acid added to it as well as some amino acids. I want to leave you with a little tip to help you save some money because who doesn't want to do that? Before you go to the store, check out their website and grab a coupon which can help you save up to $4, and I'll include the link in the description box below. Don't worry, I got you. Alright, that's it from me. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any experience with any of the cleansers that I talked about today, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments box below. I really hope that this buying guide helps you figure out what cleanser is right for you. And if it was, give your girl a like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any more informative skincare videos like this one. See you next week!